Hi, Fizia.
Sana, how are you?
I'm already in there as you were talking. I was already
Yes.
seeing,
Okay,
things.
we was talking about the fact as the moon, this fake moon, with our consciousness, there are this human consciousness that is divided in good and bad or bad and good. I mean, the good think that the bad is bad. The bad thinks no, the good is bad. So, and then what's happened is in this our universe, we we basically some of these let's say sides connected with the aliens, with other entities, other species that they live closest with us with this fake moon, which is just empty. Is not it's not like the movie Moonfall, which is so, but it's we say these things so many times even before this movie, that is empty, that is fake, and that basically even these conflicts that is happening right now, that is a part of agreement of these three big powerful, continents like China, Russia, USA, and Europe. So these four countries, basically, they are agreeing, and there will be a different market, a different. There will be a lot of changes on the way.
You know
Okay,
what
so.
goes, Fizia? Here's what I see. I see like not like I normally see a tunnel. There
Mhm.
would be two different tunnels that I see right now. As you were talking about the moon, each one is a square shaped. It's gray and white, almost like a old black and white TV. And in one, I see the big egg formed, like an abnormally shaped a big egg. That is the moon. It's if you watch from one timeline, another timeline is I see grays making humans from different planetary systems, like Lyra, Sirius, Andromeda, Pleiades, um, Arctur, Mars, Jupiter. Uh, they all together building a moon, like literally building. There's a third one where they're tugging in
Mhm.
the moon already pre-made, and it's after the Dark Fleet. Like the Dark Fleet, that there's a German, um, yeah, tugging it behind, fixing it, kind of like twisting it and turning it into a certain spot, fixating it on the orbit type thing that is fixed. Um, so it depends from which timeline or project. No, not timeline, projection of the Earth, because I see Earth projections here, moon projections right before me, and in between there is a correlation. There is like passageways, right? Like tunneling system, right? Like portal system. And each portal system has a certain vibration. So if you want the Earth as a whole is whatever we call Earth, where we exist right now as human beings, switch to this certain particular projection that you need to adjust like a radio station to the particular um, vibrational wave frequency. So if you want to prolong mm, uh, the opening of the passageway and constant interaction and subconscious talking and using your conscious body and mind as his or her own, I guess, asset, then you need to try to bring humanity to the knees. You start from the cradle of humanity, which is you first of all you have to create something like virus and then a test or somehow programs to check on your DNA. Then you create I see different like database of DNA of each nation as a whole, each person as a separate who participated in the programs, and then they compare which nation we should attack first. So let's say we have to attack Slavics first, right? Because they have the most of the DNA of original Tartars or Martians, or this particular original human DNA that they carry in. So we better make them, in order to make them destroy each other, we have to bring them to war situation. Okay, let's bring them to war situation. On both sides there'll be destruction and of the human bodies, and we'll capture the souls. That's the ideal situation for them. So we'll do this here. Then it's going to hit the other countries too, because they're going to be affected. So it goes to Europe. It's kind of like you blow a blast, you explode the bomb, and the shock waves go, and the windows of other buildings all around just like shattering. The same idea. It's gonna shatter and put cracks in the root system of each country, which I see like tree. Like there are lots of trees named with different names. Um, and then but the major players are these three. So Russia, America, and China. There's three major players. The Europe is another major player, but now Russia, America, and China are afraid of Europe as a whole. So basically, I see four as a big number here. So they're trying to figure out how to make it look natural, but to take over and to make Europe weaker, starting with the major something. The same idea was the famous thing that we've been going through for 2 years or three. I don't remember when it started, but it's the same idea. You lower people mentally, emotionally. You suppress them for a long time. They lose their mental ability. They're tired. When they're tired, we start up a new thing. When when the new thing is about to end, we have to start up another thing. And there's different points in the world that are major fountains of energy coming from the center of the earth. One of them is Australia, Ukraine, Poland, Belgium, Spain, and Italy. For some reason, for me, come together. I don't know why it is. But and then south of America, so Brazil, all those countries. And so we have to think hard how to do it, to simplify everything, to distract everybody with this and that, to make them fight with each other. In the meanwhile, we have to we're kind of pushing our plan. Our plan is basically reduce them to the smaller amount, group them up in the big, kind of like it's almost like they want one country only, with all the people of different genetic material in them, nationalities and so on. So they have a pretty good group of genetic material to still continue doing experiments on, but it'll be more in control and scared and mm, not as strong, because before they could get together and do this all kinds of things. But when the territories are destroyed and the people physically cannot leave, then they kind of naturally group up and spread out. And in that, the grouping up and spreading out, going to different territories from their original territory, they lose their strengths, because the place you were born, it gives you strengths. It's a natural thing. Um, it's kind of like if you're taken away from a planet where you were born at a soul level, then you're not as strong. anymore, because you're not in symbiotic relationship with your mother anymore. The same thing when your mother at the physical level dies, that you feel like part of you died. The same idea. And that's what they want. They want weaken everybody. They want to weaken bodies um, with different biological weapons, so which they're gonna call new viruses with different names. There is like hotspots of those viruses being created all over the world. Every country has them. Like those, you call them biolabs or whatever. Every country has them. Some of them are bigger, like let's say headquarters, like China is a headquarter, Russia is a headquarter, America is a headquarter, right? Because they have more money, more strength, and more people who like let's say more people come to America because of the American dream and all this stuff, and they pay them more money, and then they accumulate this brain power. So they create a lot of underground facilities where they create all kinds of viruses. You unimaginable can it possibly is possible. Translucent, transparent dust that can contaminate everything in one breath. So it's but it needs to be done in stages. Something related because it throws me to the universe. So something is that we put into the antivirus. When we at the soul level created this universe, we put some antivirus. And this antivirus dictates its own laws, and they cannot surpass this laws. So to surpass this laws, they have to act in stages. That's what I totally feel and see. But there's also something about the energies of planetary configurations that are aiding in some of their evil acts. And that's why by the time when, as before, I saw the beginning of summer is the rainbows and flowers in happy time. Now they flipped, literally flipped. And now the June, I see a collision time. I don't know what it is, but I got the word collision, colliding.
Mm-hmm.
And colliders are also playing part of it in that collision. There's something about atmospheric levels and the programs, how they programmed atmospheric layers as the layers where energetic like beings live, because how you infiltrate a planet, you have to create a powerful explosions. Powerful explosions create powerful um, opening of the portals and wormholes through which low vibrational feelings can come, because it lowers the vibration of the very essence of the planet when it happens. And the reason why all these nuclear stations are targeted, they want to create a nuclear um, possibly explosion. They would not erase everybody from the face of the earth, but would create a powerful portal again for yet more beings to come and to feed themselves, because there's a lot of food right now going on. There's a lot of like even people who are not fighting, they're fighting at the informational war,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not fighting the physical. And then it goes on and on and on and on. Some people are totally suppressed because they realize they were completely wrong and they were supporting the wrong people. The idea is you don't have to support anybody, but you have to support your own truth inside. And soul always has this, it's like a natural compass thingy, when it's like, is it good or bad? You know, at a soul level, at a high vibrational level that we are at, when we are souls, we don't even have this understanding of bad. That's why it's so easy to capture us.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing we do is like we value life, we value any growing of a little tiny flower that is growing, anything that is has life in it or consciousness we value. So we totally don't understand, but we have to work hard on somebody. First put him in a physical body, then insert a lot of implants or programs. Mm, and then a lot of walk-ins are here too. Like you have to put the good person as a, let's say, high position, president, prime minister, whatever. At some point, you have to create a disease or accident or even something that nobody knows about, but this person or his family would notice that his own soul being pushed out by being technology being used, and the evil soul, it's almost like sometimes it's half artificial, half natural, other times it's totally artificial soul pushed into the body, and the body gets taken over, and overnight this person becomes evil. Let's say the
Mhm.
person was normal, everybody liked, supported, but then all of a sudden I can't understand why this person makes his decisions. And it's not necessarily a clone or a double that makes the decisions, but and also the 2/3 of every government, I got the 2/3 is like normal people with consciousness. The rest is all like controlled.
Mhm.
Controlled. So if you get into the system, if you're smart enough to figure out that a lot of people around you are controlled, you have to be a very strong person to sustain. And even then, automatically, when you become part of any government, any institution, you sign a contract in the etheric.
Mm.
And that's it. It's like your soul's death with time. With time, you're gonna get like sinking into this sand alive. You know, so that's why it's good to rotate. If you choose the way to of the world to be governed, it's better to rotate constantly. Never choose the same person the second like election for example, right? But at the same time, I feel like because we have 75% of people who almost feel like it's closer to 80 to be honest, who are totally like all they care about survival. Do I have food? Do I have somewhere to sleep? Do I have enough money every month? So you can do anything you want. You basically just do anything you want, especially if you throw some sickness at them globally. That's it. They're more preoccupied with their sickness than we can just build a platform, very steady platform of their incarceration of their souls at multiple energetic levels, and they won't even notice it how they become more and more controlled, and you know but that's a problem, and we're fighting with this. It's kind of like we're trying to, as we go, we're trying to invent an antidote. But at this point I feel like people are divided into two camps, where part of them are fighting at the physical level more, others are at the energetic, and some of them are trapped. Some of them are shocked. That shock that people were saying that, oh, they're going to be solar flash and everybody's going to be shocked how they were deceived and lied to. It's happening to a lot of people now who are starting to realize that the propaganda machine hired them in the etheric also to repeat their stories. And they've been repeating it in multiple languages in different countries of the world through the known platform to convince people simply to believe that nothing is true. We're just in the video game, therefore you don't pay attention to anything, you don't believe in anything that people are going through. It's no big deal as long as it doesn't touch me, of course. Um, but this system doesn't work either, because then you get deeply into a trap. It's like you become like this matrix person with all the attachments to the machine that pumps you up with programming. Just follow me. You're in the awakening group. Good for you. Like repeat after me, repeat after me. Don't have your own opinion. And it sucks you in because it also gives you candies.
Mhm.
Candies meaning it's sweet to live in a dream, and then you get satisfaction out of people loving you and liking you, and you bring positive news all the time, and the people want to be in a bubble of positivity because that's what New Age brought to them. You just remain in positive vibration and everything's going to be fine. But the thing is, it's just slowly but surely turning you into the machine.
Mhm.
So everything's like, but there are different methods to turn you into a machine. You can get this thing, more and more and more of those to support your immune system, or, or just be in the bubble of your fake reality to that the same idea, becoming a machine when we'll get to the point that they'll knock on your door, you open the door with a smile on your face because you're in high vibration, they'll take you in. You could care less until the very last breath, what's going on, because you'll keep believing that you're untouched. See, it's a very kind of thin line in between this, and that's how they get us. It's very easy to catch us. You just start unfolding one idea, everybody catches on, positive vibration. It kind of leads you to the way that all the negative feelings that you naturally would experience as a human being, because some negative feelings are good. You get frustrated about the wars everywhere, you bring peace. And then you start asking yourself at the end of the day, what did I bring today? You know, did I, where did I give my energy to? To the AI machine or to the human kind of group of human beings? Because we're supposed to experience all range of emotions also. It would be just unnatural to suppress, because it lays the foundation of this suppression of everything negative is a fear of
Mhm.
not being accepted to a higher level of 5D reality or whatever it is you're afraid not to be going to. Because a lot of people say and ask, am I even going to make it to 5D? I mean, the whole question is just tells you how much they programmed us or wanted to program us to believe if we don't do 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, we won't make it to a better reality. But it's the same thing like religion.
Mm.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Because we are obviously dualistic people, yeah. The consciousness is split in two, which
Yeah.
first was
So it's
one.
a dualistic universe.
Yeah.
There's no way around it right now.
Basically, we created this dualism because we was one. I sometimes
Mm,
think about our body, yes, for to make the to explain to the people. It's like my body, because it's dual, is because we have two hands, two eyes, etc., etc.
mm,
Also have two personalities. Okay, one
mm,
personality fight against each other because in the end we are always one people. Okay, this is what I mean total consciousness. When you divide in two, I think what I say is good, but the other side of the medal says no. You are Fisa, you are telling crap. We are in the good. So basically, we have to accept good and bad because it's part of us. It's always us. So we are fighting basically against each other. It's my body is fighting against itself because a part doesn't get on to the other. Is fighting. So what was my body is affected? I started to feel sick. Okay, so
mm,
instead to listen myself, my instinct to be beyond, to make all my body work together in synchronicity, what we can do? We can ask the help of a doctor, and maybe he's a charlatan. And this, this is what the entities they love, they like. So basically, we are offering, you know, our body, our farm. It's not the rebel in the farm. Is the animals where they understand they are in a farm that will going to be used as a meat. What's happened? They try to rebel, yeah. But then what you do, you
Mm.
have to make everything order. So this is what they created the disease, because there will be confusion, and then everything will be regrouped inside of the farm. With our bodies the same, because we don't get with each other, so we created a duality, and we fight with
Mm.
each other. So we create disease with our own body. Okay. All says for me sometimes are the planets, which all these beings they come in, they eat our energy because they are low energy. Actually, they don't have at all energy. They need to feed our energy with our energy to reproduce because they don't have the energy like we are capable to reproduce. Because this universe is created by us in the end, by this one consciousness divided in
Mm.
two. I hope people understand me what I'm trying to say. What you give a very big, detailed analysis is telling me again that until we starting to don't take sides, of course, what is happening now is basically is the reflection of what these people they are in the room and watching us like a big brother is basically to make sure that we fight with each other, we eat what they tell us to eat, we to be injected what they say to be injected, and without ever any benefit of the doubt. Because remember, guys, benefit of the doubt is when you are starting to be a rebel, starting to be out of the box. Okay, so when people has, oh, I believe in science. What do you believe? Do you never open a book of science? This is all part of this fake reality created by us. So if you want, you can get out for your own reality because you create the creators, like what we said before, like a writer. You write a beautiful book, you know, like the one that created Harry Potter.
Right.
And people, they believe the world is Harry Potter with all the, you know, and many people, they join this world, but it's always a creation. And everything we have here around us is a creation. So we, along that, I mean, we needed to experience the good and bad, cold and hot, to be hungry, to be full, love. I mean, hate, fantastic. But now we're going to understand that this was an experience, which in the end of the day, we needed to create this because we wanted to experience this. So we are basically superior. It's crazy, and some people probably think, oh, what she's talking about. This is about consciousness. Maybe not many people, they can get it. And this is why all these, controllers, these handlers, the people call white hats, ha ha ha, or people they call fantastic leaders, oh, he's saving the children, he's a good person. These people, they don't give a damn about anybody because they are part of this dualism. If you choose him, you are a good person because you think you are in the, it's like football matches. And when we was, I would like to say something, the only way for us to starting to use our own consciousness, which is a big, big thing here. Many people, they give for granted what a president says true, what the mainstream says is true, what the war in Ukraine is fake or not fake. People are dying in front of you, but it's fake. Biolabs in Ukraine. Yes, what about the biolabs in USA, in Italy, in Spain, in Europe, in
Mm.
everywhere?
Yeah, well, they
So,
say now, the Russians say now that Ukraine is the one who created
wow,
coronavirus and the one who spread it. So
yes,
before it was China, now it's Ukraine, and everybody all of us, it gets too crazy, but then people are also programmed. Well, we don't believe CNN or BBC or, remember every informational source is always providing you mixed information. There's some truth in even in the news. There is some truth there too.
course, there is, of course, you can't make people, I mean, kill and then you say it's all stage. Come on, guys, a little bit, leave, the PlayStation some time. And because even people, friends of Oksana, they send videos made by them by their own phone, and there are people
But then
testimonials.
not nobody's allowed
It,
to even photograph the like my brother's like driving throughout the city or walking, and there's like block posts where the soldiers are checking on documents. You cannot, it's a prison sentence if you photograph
Mhm,
and send it. And also the satellite pictures, we have so much technology now. They everything, even those murders, how they were murdering people on the streets, you can see from satellite the images of people in Russian uniforms, Russian tanks. It says even the number of the Russian troops, where they're from. They know everything about every single person who was doing it, who was torturing the animals too, eating dogs, what they were talking on the phone about. Just ridiculous. But it's not about this, it's about the people who are totally using this idea that, oh, it's just the matrix, or everything is fake in the matrix. No, no, no. I mean, maybe it's a program. Yeah, sure, everything is a program. Every universe you can consider a program. It's all holograms, right? Holographic universe, holographic creation, made out of one dot of light expanding in constant expansion. But you're in a physical body, you feel it. If they torture your physical body, they torture your energetic body also, and then they can control you, get possession of your soul. And why do you torture kids? Because they're now like having such a feast here. Plus, they're also playing on the ignorant people who just close their eyes and don't react
mhm.
because they shut down by their own free will, their own emotions. And emotions help us resist, help us save animals, save children, right? So it's like
Sometimes
sometimes you need to get frustrated to
yeah.
act upon
No, all
it.
the conflicts that we have right now in the world, Ukraine, Syria, Palestine, people they live oppressed by these powerful, rich countries because in the end they are financed by always the same country that we mentioned before. And people says, yeah, you don't talk about Palestine, you don't talk about. Of course, we talk about Palestine. We talk about every country which is suffer. And obviously now we have this other conflict about this perpetrated by the same people, by the same basically entities. And I mean, all the people that says, "Oh, what about Palestine? About what you are doing for Palestine and for Syria, Yemen? These countries that they are oppressed." So these people
Right.
talk and point the finger. Is the again consciousness, guys? Of course I feel sad, of course I'm not, but when you guys stop to give your own power to these third parties that are in our body, okay, it's like I put my own implant in my body, this implant is creating all the disease in my body. Okay, my body is starting to shut down like this planet. We are killing this planet with these conflicts, with these um, explosions. This is why the climate is now is starting to. This is the people says what is worse after the pandemic situation, and then we have the war. What is the worst? Then it is the climate.
Oh, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of earthquakes and tornadoes. I see that too coming. And when you said Syria, I see Russian flag. And then from a Russian flag, of course, Russia is controlled totally. But so Russians are behind the Syrian conflicts. Russians are behind the Chechens conflict. Russians are behind a lot of Georgian conflict. Russians are even behind the war in Azerbaijan that happened last year because they're the ones helping Armenia, fight with Azerbaijan. So you see how it is? They took one big country, made the people either super rich or super poor,
Yeah.
nothing in the middle, no buffer zone at all. And then they can control, they put this fake, walk in who's I seen him being walking in one of the Russian investigation sessions. So he's totally like, you know,
This is why we have
draconian type soul, with AI technology in it, and like more blood. So let's go to wars with everybody, and let's destroy all the people in this country, and that because he's not pro any country. He's just wants to. He's the whole country was created and controlled to be used for wars. Period.
okay.
And
Yeah.
that's it's continuous, and that's why Polish people supported Ukrainians so much, because they know they're next. Moldova is next, Baltic countries are next, because through Putin they said so many years ago they want the Soviet Union back. Okay, let's go and see. Kazakhstan needs to be too attacked too, and it's been attacked already. So, it's just kind of that's the scenario.
Yeah, but again, I can see that is a big buffer here for the other
Oh yeah,
China.
they eating up all the
Yes.
energies, and they're so happy that humans did not make it to the point where the consciousness is higher than it is, and they don't understand who is really controlling everything. And the killings are really happening. But who is eating the souls? Who's capturing the souls? Who's eating the flesh of the bodies? The soul Draco reptilians are walking around
Many
laughing
children
and
are disappearing. In the
right.
meantime, there will is a big distraction. We have still the child trafficking is now is
There's
two
so many children
now three
disappeared.
times
Buses
more.
and buses were loaded
Yeah,
and
they
just
disappeared.
gone.
What's happened? All these people deported in Russia. Can you guys asking what's happened to the children and the children in the borders that many people are taking advantage? In every war in Syria, all these countries, there is a lot of child trafficking, and in front of us. Stop it, guys, and we go beyond because this is what Oksana would like to ask. When the people starting to obviously even for me even a minority is enough for me to wake up and say enough is enough. I don't like Gandhi movement. Gandhi movement when they started to march against these forces, the governments, they didn't stop. They didn't care to die. They have the determination, the willing. People now are afraid even to move a finger, but only with the keyboards and they even don't try to create understanding. So basically the word is use your own consciousness. How these people they can use their own consciousness, Oksana, if you really these people they can't get it. I mean, yes,
Some
not
people cannot be explained because they're just like they are too low in understanding. They just have the basic instincts, and then they think that they awaken, but then in a trap of false awakening. They'll always be listening to the videos and channels that promising them, oh, the portal is opening next month on this date, or the parade of planets is on this date, or something else. And they always be in this, when you're always expecting and living in the future, you're not living in the present, and that's what they want also you to do. This way, they eliminate you and take away your free will so they can use it. A lot of people are going to be continuing doing this until the whole system is collapse.
mhm,
There's a lot of systems are going to collapse. The same like Russia is going to fall apart in three or four parts, three or four camps, with people living totally different and different kind of like some of them going to be more like nature living. And overall, if everybody would create a movement towards the living in nature with nature without torturing it or using it, then there would be no wars. There would be just and then people would connect their minds as one to improve the weather, to to eliminate the harsh winters and all this, that we have. It just would be a different step, a different level of consciousness, but you can't just jump from the third to the fifth. It's another deception that they want you to believe, but they want you to believe it pretty much all life. Just sit around, like you said, in front of the keyboard and listening to videos, participate in groups, believing until the very last day of your life that you're going into fifth dimension, which you would never experience really.
Mhm.
So, but the thing is, we're gonna go through. I see it like a roller coaster ride, like it's constantly turning, and you're constantly, like like this, but then it's gonna be like like breathing out all this crazy but through that we're gonna get to the understanding that what our values were all fake, our beliefs were all fake. Most people will understand that all their belief systems are
Mhm.
just and it's for a lot of people they would go in some sort of not a stasis, a shock, maybe shock for a few weeks, for a few months, because when your whole belief system breaks down to pieces, you lose yourself in it because you had the identity related to it. I'm part of this group or that group. I'm part of this belief, part of this theory or that theory that the famous people, famous faces on YouTube talk about all the time. And all of a sudden, when you lose it, you lose your identity. Nothing really matters
Mhm.
anymore. And it's a hard situation, but everybody will face it in his own personal way. It's going to be all personalized. It's not the same.
About the dimensions, Oksana, sometimes I think that we travel to the fifth dimension to maybe trying to adjust something, maybe something that is was too bad to accept, to that is too much damage.
It's it's
Uh,
it's it's a metaphor. It's consciousness is going like right now you can be in 11th dimension with your consciousness level when you love every expression of life, every flower, every little mouse, every little bug running around. And but you're still in a 3D body, and this body is not gonna just become crystalline overnight or over a period of decades. You're gonna keep the physical body. It just the way you treat it, the way you heal it is gonna change. And that comes from higher vibrational frequency fields and understandings, how you can use your mind to fix all of this. But you have to go and walk a long way towards that. Nobody's gonna just present you med beds and fix you up, like that. It's a slow motion process, and it's all based on your consciousness.
mhm.
So
Yeah, this is apparently we're going to come back where we come from. That was we can wake up from this experience that we created to who knows that what we are in plan, okay, to create another universe because we are God and we created this. We are part of a creation created from us, which many entities is created for us. Like when we create a disease, it's created by us with our engine, which is our brain, our mind, and we can create disease with our own body. But we have third part. When I say third part, is obviously other entities from other universes because it is other universes and
mhm.
can be only one for us. But there is we nobody knows the truth completely because it's too big for us, too big even to get there. So this is why for some people is they says, oh, you need only to have faith, and that's it. Yes, but to have faith is like to be, I don't know, a tree, and this is the experience, and that's it. But because we are probably more superior in terms of intelligence, and we are able to create our own reality, but also create synchronicity, because we are, the body is one, yes, and it's like when I argue with somebody else
I
because he has a different opinion, is I'm arguing with myself. I don't accept a different opinion. I don't accept that this is a part of me that doesn't
yeah,
accept.
I see some wait a minute. Can you hear me well, if you do?
Yes, I
I
can
see
see.
some
I see sometimes the image is moving, but I can
I see
see you. I can hear you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's some purple kind of interesting lines. It's almost like frequencies is trying to disrupt.
Oh yeah. We know that. They're
All
always there.
right. Yeah. But the and I see I for some reason I got the year 2026, and then it turns into one, and one is when we our territories become as one. This world, the earth as we call that, this territory of all the countries are gonna become one, and they're gonna shift due to earthquakes and all the natural stuff that is gonna be happening before that year.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna create like a big large one continent without borders, and from there into the years 30s 2030s, we're gonna go and start um, building something as united, because at that point most people, it will be a dominant effect of people understanding that we don't need those institutions to control us, because essentially they're all controlled. No matter what country you pick, you cannot just go into duality again and say this country is good, this country is
Yeah.
bad.
This is.
They all pretty much the same, and it just that how reptilian Draco reptilian alliance um, tortured the people with wars.
Mm-hmm.
What's the percentage of scared people and controlled? That what kind of can describe, give you a more precise description of what in your perception would be a good or bad country, but it's mostly about the control. Some countries are just been through so much, they understood more. Like let's say Poland, they've been through so much, they understood a lot through that suffering. They tried to suppress them, but it played a different opposite effect. They actually understand how it is be attacked, or how it is be without house and without food and all this stuff. You know, because essentially they wanted us to suffer, go through wars and stuff, because they wanted us to produce the energy of suffering so they can eat. But they miscalculated one thing, that when we suffer we wake up, and when we wake up all as a nation we become stronger. And that's why this Azov army was created. It's the IN on its flag is in the nation against the Third Reich. That's their slogan, against the Third Reich. People probably don't understand what it means, but they're pro-life, and their number one thing was to protect children and not to let them,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, be taken to Russia, but rather to Poland, um, to where they can take care of them and they can go to Polish schools and stuff. So there's a lot of false narrative, but it's to create a massive fog in your head on purpose. But then you just go by your feeling as a human. That's all you have to do. What your eyes tell you, what you feel is true. It's impossible that everything is fake. It's impossible that, and everything is on reverse. People who are telling the truth are always suppressed, always, and we're still in the system. People who are signed contracts with the system, they're
Mm-hmm.
always on the stage, on the top of the iceberg, and seen by everybody. They're standing on top of the pyramid with the microphone in their hands and spreading the fake news. As they say, they're not fake news, they're the only truth that you can hear. And they become very popular on purpose because they just supported by the system. And that's a problem where we need to it's going to eliminate itself by itself
Mm-hmm.
once we become more humane, more connected to our souls, less to the concepts, because everybody lives by concepts or by rules. If I believe in this, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
If I believe in the other thing, that who knows what I get, I don't even know. I all of a sudden I don't belong to the group of believers of that. So what is essentially guiding you is your fear of
Mm-hmm.
not being
Exactly.
accepted.
And
You
the
have to
problem
accept
is,
yourself first
and
inside
the
yourself.
temptation. I mean, temptation. You know, when they speak about devil, or the snake that gives the apple to Adam, which is obviously the religion is what they play. Which, and in the end of the day, they are revealing themselves
Mm,
as a evil.
mm,
Actually, this is they're telling you the truth. You believe that is good. Who's the real snake? Is God, yes? This entity, they created this kind of belief that
mm,
they are, we are God. But in the way the humans they believe is they believe in these aliens, that these aliens, these entities, that they created this kind of God, which is nothing to do with the God that is us. So basically, if there is a real God, first is not a man, a single man, that can dictate your life. This politician that are ultra rich, who lives in the privilege, and they live in absolutely a luxury, and you are dying without food. Somebody that dictate millions and millions of people and is lives the best life that nobody can imagine. Because this is the deal with the devil. This is the apple, guys. Do you understand? The aliens, they promise you to basically, you are a provider. You provide me victims. You provide me food, and you can be in the power, and I can eat the people that you dictate, that you kill, that you arm against each other, with economic, with the promises, with the mortgage. Okay, and now people says yes. And now, girls, how we can live? We can live with a different consciousness. No more leaders. We don't need leaders, guys, because we are all the same. Why one must be better than you? Because it's not because he's intelligent than you, because he's smarter than you, because this is the
yeah,
contract,
leaders are tied by the
the
system. They're
contract.
tied up and their hands are tied up,
Exactly.
and they cannot
This
act
is in
from the
front of
heart.
us. When I see that people says, "Oh, if you don't work, you can't have money, you can't eat, and the banks pay you." The banks is illusion. Banks is created to be, the story of the banks, guys. Just
Mm,
Google it and check how the banks are created and born. Is the people they are rich in your back without nothing.
out of nothing they
Without
created.
nothing. It's just to make, because people before they paying gold, but gold is still a mineral. In the end of the day, what you need, eating, yeah, to be warm, and
Yeah,
everybody can live in an ecosystem without even use this fossil like petrol. So Putin or Putler, whatever we want to call, he thinks that is powerful. He says, okay, we can cut off the gas, and you depend of me. It's not true. We can live. We are in a very important age of progress, that we know we can use the wind, we can use the light. We can use
That's their
them.
weapon. That's the instruments they use for us to
Exactly.
see. It's such just a fake picture. Well, this is the fake picture that we can't survive without their gas. But they are trying to kind of like an excuse for why they're not supporting or helping close the sky or do something about massive killings. It's like a Holocaust. It's like it's worse than, the killing of the Jews.
Exactly. But because it's a leaders, we have to we have not kill, take off, kill the mentality of that there is always a king or a president or because this is the worst of everything because when people started to be think every single person, even a child, as their duty, they need to work synchronized, okay, in order the consciousness, everybody they have their own space and they can create more. You want more, you can have more, but without to basically create damage to your neighbor, to your son, to your child, to your girlfriend, to your husband, to your neighbor that lives miles and miles away. This is the new consciousness, that the greediness is not doesn't exist anymore because everybody in this world has enough food, minerals, everything. This planet is. I like it when we did the last session with Priscilla when she says we are in a craft in the end of the day in the space. Our planet is a craft, but we have to respect. So it's like there is a subordinate. What you can say when inside of a craft, people fighting with each other. When I mean, if we fight with each other, this craft it doesn't carry on the trip.
The problem is too many people are too proud to be in a theory craft all the time. So they say I'm not even here in the physical. Why would I even care about the physical level? But the idea is you have to find the balance 50-50 to
Exactly.
also help out the physical level with your energy and support to turn it into something better than it is right now. So it's always a work going happening on both levels at the same time. But of course they do create all this ego support systems of you're a star seed, I'm not, or I'm doing this important job and you're not, which is not true at all. We're all doing very important jobs, just different areas. Um,
It's like when
it's
sometimes it's difficult. I mean, obviously, but it's true because every single person has basically has everything needs
mm,
to use to get to be alive. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm not the best guitarist in the world. But if we want, we can have this. It depends what you real experience want to do. You choose, and you can have. We have energy sources everywhere are to be good. So one of the things what about the moon? Will be exposed? Will this veil will be revealed, and we can see that it's just a projection one day? That will be possible to see.
yeah, it's like a shield is going to be opened, and when the shield doesn't exist, you kind of see the true 4% of the universe with your physical eyes, but at that point we could see further than only 4% because we will start seeing the non-physical also, energetic planets, and we'll see that there are many more than just 9 planets in the solar system exist. And we also see all the layers where all the old humanoid, like original humans escaped, and all the tribes that used to be here, they just couldn't remain here anymore because the electromagnetic field was implemented. It wasn't coinciding with their electromagnetic field and their vibrational levels, so they had to leave. But they're still watching. They're still anticipating, let's say, the victory of the original Earth. Um, but there's a certain things that's gonna happen. But first, they're gonna exhaust all the weapons against humanity. And after they exhaust all the weapons and they see that we're still standing, while we may be understanding more how we have to be united and not fighting the informational fields of war and physical, then all of a sudden. But the problem is, people say, "Oh, you just like don't throw your energy at even thinking about the war, and then it will stop." It's not gonna stop that easy like that, because it's already happening in the physical. Physical is like the last level where it happens. First, it happened in the etheric.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, it's kind of like we physically have to destroy the troops created as super soldiers fighting at the battlefields in Ukrainian soil. And because they're all programmed, they're all half humans, they're not humans. Most of them are stuffed with programs. They're
Mm-hmm.
like biorobots inside. We have to physically destroy them, believe it or not. So we better get the weapons and going, and and finish this job up, because otherwise they'll go back. They'll use, in the laboratories, they can create more soldiers. It just takes time right now. That's why right now they have hard time continuing, because there's a lot of energy going into this war and other things. So, and it also takes time to grow clones, to grow and enhance soldiers. So they don't have that time available, and that's our chance to conquer the evil type thing. So
So basically, we need to unplug this free, basically, antenna that we are giving to them. So we have to unplug, we take out how basically to start finally to make questions. Why first? I mean, three big questions that for me is always for quite a long time. It's not the typical question that many people they do against the powerful people. You are the poor. Not. The question is why you are always the same ones in the power. Who are you? But in the end of the day, why you have to be in charge? Why is there are not other systems to make it work? Why we have to, eat necessarily this kind of food? Or why we can't hone what is natural? Okay, so it's like
yeah,
it's
at the
lot.
end of the day, yeah.
It's
But you
basically
also
when we
ask yourself,
started
what
to,
did you do
yeah.
to help it?
Exactly. Why before? I mean, in the past, a healer, a lady that or a man that wanted to use the nature, because this was how we started. Yeah, using these beautiful resources that is the nature, plants, herbs, animals, obviously in the good way, not like now, and that was the first ever, medicaments for us. When these
Mm.
medicaments became not good, which is always the same, but it was only allowed to be used a brand by the elite. If you use it the same, resources, you was a witch, you was a devil, because this is the religion
Mhm.
says you are a devil because using what? I'm using what? This is before you, before me. And now it's bad. And the same now, with the time now, what's happening is people that use holistic, that using natural, obviously, method to heal, which is always is the same.
Right.
But the pharmaceutical basically companies, they don't allow you to use because they can't make money. Everything is about the greediness. I'm not against a medicament that can help me, but we need to understand what this medicament is creating to you, because it's created not only, yes, it can help you because sometimes we use these medicaments, but it creates you dependency, because in every medicine, especially in all these medicaments of this, even a paracetamol, there is a sort of like dependency on attacking.
Dependencies and everything. Dependency even in movements of spiritual movements. You need to hear Archangel Michael every day
Yeah,
to
this is
calm
about
yourself down and to look forward to aliens coming and saving you or Pleiadians
yeah.
giving you
Why?
something,
Why
helping
they
you
want to save you if you are the food?
right, making you look younger with their med beds that they're bringing to you to be available. For what? Why?
Uh,
Aren't you supposed to experience here and create everything by yourself?
uh,
And to because it's how it's supposed to be when you come to a planet, you're supposed to create things. That's the
yeah.
whole idea.
Well done. Yes, we are creators. We create our own reality. We can create everything. Like Corrado Malanga says every time, it's like you have billions and millions pounds in the bank, and you don't know why you have to
Right.
ask a loan. Why you have to look your happiness with somebody else when you have already everything. This is why
Right.
they created all this crap around us:
The mentality that
religions,
somebody has to help
politics,
you or you need.
poverty, greediness. All these temptations are basically, people can call evil, but the evil, we create the evil in the end of the day.
Right.
Because this is where we talk again from the beginning. The conscious
Right.
people that the people, the entities that are living in the moon, they are sit like that, ready. They just act only when there are these portals open and they can go to, to feed the cell because they're constantly. This is why when there are conflicts, this is why you can feel sometimes you don't sleep well, you wake up in the middle of the night.
Right.
Well, because it's like somebody's attacking your body. And this is what we
Exactly.
do on our planet. We're attacking our own planet. We are allowed
Because we are
to
part of everything is
attack
kind of
them.
spread out energy. Yeah, and everybody's feeling it. Like I have this
Uh,
a realtor. She lives in Miami. She's from Belarus, and she said that she went to for manicure, and the woman who was doing it, she's from Ukraine. And she said she's talking to her friends in this little town in Ukraine. She said, like, would you believe it? They even took the pans and the frying pans and the silverware. Like, why would you come to war and take from people this? I said, well, this is, they also take the underwear from women. And it's just the whole idea is that that's what, just to add to your consumption, greediness, what can I take? And,
yeah, what
and
a,
also
doesn't sound a
also
proper
it's like
operation.
AI, the idea they're jealous over us over our creative abilities, that we're better than them, we can create better, right? If some country is more taken over more and people all of a sudden cannot create simply because they have to worry about how they can get bread and potatoes every day to feed their family rather than creative abilities of writing a poem or something, all of a sudden they become angry, hungry and angry because the other people in the other country can afford that and they live better. So, and if they have a bad leader who's not saying, okay, we have to do this and that to be like them, you'll be sent to war with those people you're envious with. And that's what AI beings are doing with us. If they can't be like us, they better destroy us.
This is why
You
I'm
know?
against leaders because leaders can they not allow you to evolve. Leaders just they kill you, they kill,
Right.
they starve you, killer. They teach you to kill. They teach you to robber. This is what they call a cleaning operation. I think this is just greedy, and I want the green garden of my neighbor,
It's the
green grass.
it's the yeah, exactly. Well, we there'll be tough times for everybody here and there to understand some things, and but to understand these things you have to stop living in fake reality created by your own mind, because it seems like the world is far away but it's real close to your home too.
It's just basically what we need to do is to starting to use what we have already in a way or another, starting to make questions, starting to touch things, and starting to don't depend of others. You can start to stop to depend in every single little thing and starting to take your own decision step by step until to feel confident enough that you can be happy with
Right.
your own reality, not with
Right.
others created for you. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, and this client, I did a session with her this morning. I think she's the one. You told me at some point I realized that how good it is, how good it feels to be able to say no to something. Because we are raised to say yes to everything,
Yes and
and
no.
then she said, like, start exercising, saying no to what I didn't like, and it feels so like I would feel empowered. And that's why we need to use our emotions and feelings. We can't just say nothing is true anyway and nothing is
I'm not
real anyway.
interested. You can use the word I'm not interested. I can't say yes or no.
I usually say I refuse to participate in
Yeah,
this
sorry,
program
I'm
or
not interested.
whatever, because I
I'm not
feel like these
interested
are
in
all
your crap,
programs once you
basically.
accept it,
I'm not
right?
interested in what you're selling me. I'm not interested with what you are convincing me to that is good. I have to think
Right,
it's good for me or not.
right. Yeah, the reason why I use I reject or refuse because it doesn't have the not thing, like look at this woman who by the Russian at the Red Square by the church was taken to the police. All she was holding in Russia is the sixth statement in Bible is do not kill, not do kill. If you eliminate not, which subconscious doesn't understand, and then everybody's killing, no problem, and everybody's so religious and so killing.
They says, oh, God bless you, and then they are supporting the people killing other, or oh,
Right.
in
Yeah.
one group I see, oh, uh, Putin is doing such a beautiful things. He has this beautiful light blue. It was like,
Yeah. It's
I mean, I'm I'm not
dualism,
against the
right?
Russian. I am against the decision of a man that can dictate the life of millions. Again, these guys put there because somebody else him to be there to do their job. It's the
Exactly.
same.
Yeah.
There's a pyramid, yeah, a triangle. On the
Oh,
top
yeah.
is the basically the big leaders. This is why we have the every part of the world with the pyramids and important locations. We have the proof of this extra because they made already deals with the
Yeah.
humanity. Because
Right.
are, I mean, we are humans, but we are even very, very easily to corrupt. Because this is what happens when your consciousness is split. Because your weak side, wherever you think is good or bad, is the one that always make deal with somebody head when you don't need to make a deal because you can decide for yourself. When you make a deal, a compromise, you
Right.
are basically not using your own, you are stupid basically. You are just an idiot because you don't use your own rich resource and you give it to somebody else to, let's say, come si dice, to governare, to govern your own,
Um,
you know?
right. To govern.
Yes, you're basically. I don't need a governor. It's me. I'm the governor. Why have to use somebody else?
Right. And we're always being tested, like even in little, day-to-day situations. It's my children even told me, like, simple example. I don't know why it came to me, but I usually get ice cream right from this Mexican vendors on the streets in the summer. And I give him, I don't remember, I gave him 20 and he gives me 11 back. And I'm like, no, 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 you're not supposed to give me 11 less, So I give him back what he miscalculated. And he was thanking me so much. I didn't expect, like, it was a normal thing to do.
I have to see on
But
it.
the day after, he gave me free ice cream, and my kids are like, "Why he giving you a free?" Because he's thankful that I was truthful, And so it's like I feel like the life is always testing you, and it's in this the little hesitation you make or temptation you make to to use this dualistic face all of a sudden, then it sucks you in.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like this angel and devil situation, like I explained. The devil takes over,
Yeah.
and that's the duality. That's how it is. If you're stably honest in your own wholeness, then nobody can touch you. And people are so afraid of beings getting attached to you. Nobody can get attached to you when you feel whole. There's not uh,
And that is
there's
you
no
when you.
spot, no space. It's all filled with your wholeness inside.
It's the same when you people, example, you keep the door open to let people pass. You know, people say thank you, but it's like wow. Some people don't even just go through. In this case,
Um,
you must say, oh, look at what that doesn't didn't say thank you or whatever. You have to stay cool because that person, you can tell there is a low energy. It's not
mm,
because he has to say thank you, but I mean, I helping you, I'm making you a favor, I'm doing something for you, and you don't even capable to say thank you to. The gratitude is even when people don't have nothing, but they feel because
um,
one day or another they come back to you. But these people, when they don't say, you can tell straight away these people they don't understand. They are so unhappy in their own little world that they don't even appreciate a good gesture because they're not used to good gesture. This is when they become the baddies. And we have to be cool, even in that situation when people is rude. Obviously, until a certainly, because if you come with
um,
a gun, then it's not that, oh yeah, good. No, I mean, be careful. I mean, as long that the caution has changed one day, which we know that will going to happen, we don't need people with
mm,
guns or asking you the money for taking drugs or whatever to listen the new prophet of YouTube that he can sell you his stuff, you know.
right. Yeah.
As long that we we have only to respect each other. This is a form of change of consciousness, which is
Yep.
a work.
Agree with you. Yeah, it's kind of that's how the soul is, and you just go by what feels right. That's it. And I mean, you can call it duality or what, but it just naturally what is right without
Mhm.
thinking. You don't have to think and analyze or rationalize anything. Just the feeling. But yeah, well, thank you. It was very good. Um, I got so relaxed.
Yeah, I basically have to start in a bit my shift. I have to, yes, I had to go. But yes, I was happy to talk about it, this because, like I said, I'm sick to talk about, to read comments, people slagging each other, arguing against, oh, this is bad, vax, no vax, it's better or no better. But when you're starting to say, you
Mm,
know what, I do what I want. I don't even need to listen to you fighting. I just do my stuff without thinking. I use my
right.
bank account basically behind me
Mm,
and my bank, my own brain. This is my richness. This is my bank. My soul, everything. I can trust
mm,
everything I do, even if I do wrong. But at last, I ask myself. I don't need to put my life because the science say that, the science say that. So, and they don't even open a book in their own life. So I believe in myself. I take my own researches. I can read books of science or not, but I starting to believe to my
so that's a real freedom
yeah.
of choice
Don't
and
depend of
and
any.
voice and everything.
Don't argue for, oh, this is good. Especially the people that they argue is the people they are sitting in the sofas and they having a good life. And when people are suffering, starving, they don't really even care about children being starving to death, raped, trafficking children, women disappearing. And these people, really, they don't understand what is going on in front of us because they're not happening to them. But and they says it's fake. This is because they wanted this, they wanted that again. Is this is a game
But
that
it's rationalizing. For me, it like what it takes is just to see children suffering or, elderly people being killed for nothing, then that just gets to me. I cannot just walk away from it.
exactly?
And for me, it doesn't matter what country attacked what country. These are
Mm.
children. I don't care what nationality they are, what language they speak, and what country they are, and what kind of politics the countries
When
are
they eat,
leading.
when they kill their children, they're
They're
killing
just
your
souls who
children.
wanted to live in the bodies of these children,
Mm,
period. And you should not be taking their lives like
mm.
that. But yeah, you have to look from a different perspective. I just separated myself from all this politics because people ask me too much. Why did you, like Trump, and then you didn't like Trump? Because, there's walk-ins, there's people change, there's in some scenarios there is a clone, in another there is a double, in third there's a real person, and this person most of the times these politicians don't even exist when they organized all this stuff
They living in a
anymore.
beautiful, they have a beautiful life, powerful. We don't give a damn about people.
Of
And all
course,
this
yeah. I mean, so what's the point? What's the
we
point of even
adore,
asking?
oh,
Whom do
like
you like?
they adore them like God, the Savior, they save the children. Oh yes, he's probably now he's having a good time with some prostitute, cocaine, powerful stuff, talking. This is these people what they do, and you
Exactly,
are
yeah.
the
And
stupid that
you're
are.
supporting them and giving them your money.
Oh,
Basically, that's
okay.
a problem. Okay, well, thank you. Till next
Okay,
time.
so thank you, Oksana. And yes, we're going to, to get a belief that there is a better world, and in the consciousness, we're going to become again one,
Right. Yeah.
hopefully soon.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.